Hey everyone, today's video is all about making the most of your makeup if you wear glasses. If you're like me and you don't, this is clearly going to benefit us all. I do think that these are very general, good tips. This is kind of like a daily look for me. During the video, I kind of added more makeup as I went, so it's kind of like more of an explanation, kind of like a tutorial. So this is kind of like the end result that I got, but I showed you how you can make it very bare, start off, little by little, and kind of gradually add color depending on where you're going or whatever, but I just show you a bunch of different looks. And I'm ranging from these glasses, which are more like, metal, small frames. I'm going to tell you about these in a second. And these that are a little darker, they're more plasticky, a little thicker on the top. Saying that there is a way to do your makeup, or one way, or a tutorial for makeup, it's kind of ridiculous, honestly, because, you guys can do whatever. If you wear glasses day to day and you have to wear them all the time, you can do any makeup look that I do. But I'm going to give you a lot of tips of how to tweak things to remember when you need to maybe add a little more color or whatever. And also, not all glasses are the same. You can't say this is great for glasses because it may totally not work for every other style of glasses that people have. Some people have very thin, glasses that you can barely see. Some have really thick glasses, which, these probably aren't even that thick compared to a lot of people's, that really make a statement that are a lot bigger and thicker. If you have darker frames, you can get away with darker lip colors. Not to say that you can't if you have lighter, whatever you want to do. But I think that it looks nice to play up darker frames balanced with, not that this is dark by any means, but just a color that's a little more berry. And this is the Scant Slim Shine by MAC, which I've really been enjoying lately. And if you can't find this, you can use the Vivid Glam 5 by MAC, which is so similar. Two great lip products. And then I topped it with a really shimmery gloss. This is the YSL Golden Gloss number 11. And it's very golden, very, flecky golden. And it kind of plays up the sparkle of the glasses and it kind of balances things out. But this is not what you have to do if you wear glasses. It's just a tip, Also remember that your eyebrows are going to stand out a lot more when you wear glasses. Just as glasses are going to kind of frame your face, your eyebrows kind of do the same thing. And it is going to bring attention to that. So make sure that they're groomed. Make sure that you maybe use a clear brow gel. I use the Maybelline Clear Brow Gel, which I love. Now with glasses, I find that when I wear them, I don't like to use a lot of frost on my cheeks. I like to keep my cheeks glowy, but without frost. And for that, I use the Smashbox Blush Rush in Radiance. This is amazing stuff. Seriously, if you haven't tried this, it's amazing. It works. This would work for any skin tone. This would look amazing on darker skin tones too because it's so bright. Kind of be like a pretty glow. About my particular types of glasses, these I think I showed in a video a long time ago. I think that they're still available. They're by Chanel. I got them at Lens Crafters. Mine has a lot of different Chanel frames there. And they have crystals and little pearls, which I really like. And I think they come in different colors, but I liked the brown metal frames just with my coloring and stuff. And then these are even older. These are really, I probably had these for maybe 5 or 6 years. And they're by Versace. And I like these a little better. I think that they fit my face better because they're wider. I think while these look better on my face, these are still my favorite. Probably because they're fancy and I like Chanel. I don't know. Now, since this is the daytime, I'm gonna show you what I did for the daytime and then I'll take it into a nighttime thing. I did not want to go all out and use a black eyeliner. So I used Stubborn Brown by MAC, which is an amazing pencil liner. It stays on forever. It's a PowerPoint, which I believe these are waterproof. Very good brown. Alright, so I switched to my usual little setup so you could see this better. I lined my upper lash line with this, and then I took it right here. I'm just going over what I did, connecting it to the color and lightly blending it in with my lashes so that it looks like my lash line. You don't want to see an actual line underneath, you know what I mean? Not good. And definitely smear it out a little with your finger or smudge it, whatever. You could use a small brush. Now with the upper lash line, I've already kind of done it a little bit, but after you apply the actual liner, you want to take a brush. Normally, I know a lot of people don't have a problem with their liner looking very defined. With glasses, it's going to kind of emphasize that a little bit. If that's what you want, fine. If you don't want to really see that, you want it to be a little softer, take a brush. This is a MAC 266. It's very soft and perfect for doing this with liner. And I just kind of blended it out. and softened that line, and that works perfectly. So it looks like the line's more natural. So the top of the frame hits right above my lash line, so it kind of does a really nice job of just blending in that color because it's kind of the same color. I don't know. I think that's fun. If you have navy frames, I think it's really fun to use navy eyeliner and all that. But you don't have to stick with that. You can definitely play around with it. You can stop with the liner. You can play it very natural. If you wanted just a little bit of color for the daytime, before applying your eyeliner, you could take a color like this. This is the Urban Decay Ruthless. This is the Deluxe eyeshadows. Oh, I love this color. It's one of my favorites. And then I just take a big brush, and of course, you know, I would do this before my liner and all that. I'm just kind of showing you different options. And you can just do a very soft sweep. This is a 252 brush by MAC. And you can kind of go up a little further because the color, you know, isn't too dark. And it gives a really pretty shimmer. So that would be perfect for daytime. And then when you look, you know, through the glasses, it just kind of brightened your lids, gave it a little bit of shimmer, but it's not like a really offensive color. If you wanted to do more colors, great, go all out, do whatever, but just make sure that you blend very, very well. If you're like me and you like a little more definition, because we know I love my makeup, then you take a brush. This is a 217 brush, and I'm using a medium brown. This is Folly, and I just dip the brush straight into that, and then you can just kind of shade in the outer half of your lid with this, and it kind of blends and shades at the same time. It applies a really soft color. And see, I hadn't done that yet, so we're just kind of building darker and darker so I can show you different options. And then obviously I already have my mascara on. This is not the order that you do this. I'm just showing you different looks, you know. And you can kind of go into the crease a little bit. You don't want such a harsh defined crease. Like I said, especially if you wear glasses like these that hit, you know, they're a little shorter. That crease is going to look extremely, extremely noticeable right above those frames. So make sure that you kind of blend it out really well. I'm using this Folly color, and it's just a very soft wash of color. And then again, go back over it with a blending brush or something. Brow highlight colors, again, I would say don't go super defined. A lot of people really, you know, and I do that sometimes too, like I'll take a flatter brush and I'll really pack on, like, you know, a lot of color right there. That's fine, do whatever you want, but I find it looks so much better if you just use a really soft wash of a color. Take a little bit on a brush and just give it a soft wash. And again, like I would say I wouldn't do a very strong frost. Just one that's a little maybe satiny like this. This is Mylar that I'm using right now, which is by MAC. It's a very light shade. That kind of lit up your eyes a little bit. Again, where brightening your eyes are concerned, you can definitely go for lighting this inner part of your eye. Again, that part's going to be very noticeable with your glasses. So you don't want to do a heavy frost, and you don't want to pack it on so strong. So I would take this brush again, go for maybe that Mylar color, or I would even say Vapor. This is Vapor. It's a little more pink. I'm just using Mylar again, and just lightly go into this pocket where it gets shadowy, and then down around your tear duct. But when you put your glasses on, it really opens up that part of the eye. If you've got thicker glasses like these, they're not too much thicker, but you know, they are a little bit more, you can definitely get away with a lot more. I could have done a little bit of a heavier eyeliner because, see, it kind of, you can't really see the makeup. You can't really see what I've done along my upper lash line, along my upper eyelid. See, with these you really can. And it almost looks like I'm wearing more makeup with these, you know, because the lenses are so, or the frames are so thin. With these, the frames are a lot thicker. Looks like I'm not wearing hardly any makeup, and it's crazy. So what I would do if you have thicker frames and you want it, you know, you want your makeup to be not apparent, but you know, you want that definition of more makeup, then I would say to take a gray or even a darker brown. You can use whatever colors you want. I'm just using neutral colors for the sake of, like, you know, showing you. And I'm using this color called Handwritten, or use like Mystery. I'd probably say Mystery. I don't think Handwritten's available anymore. Take it on that same brush, because again, we want soft color. And I'm just shading the outer corner, the outer V of my eye. And then I'm going to take like a pencil type brush like that take that same color and follow it right along the lower lash line. Alright, and then you can see when you put your glasses on, that gives you more definition. It looks like you're wearing more makeup, and I like that. You know, obviously you'd apply your mascara. I already have. I had that on before I even started the video. And definitely as far as your cheeks go, like I said, not a lot of shimmer. As you can see, this does, you know, emphasize your under eye area. There's nothing worse than, even when you're not wearing glasses, to see, you know, the makeup in those lines and stuff. And if you see that a lot and you feel like when you do your makeup you look, you know, when you smile you feel like you can see those lines and you look powdery or cakey, your under eye concealer is probably too dry of a formula. And my very favorite one to use is the Select Moisture Cover by MAC. Pat that on, make sure that you really, you know, canceled all that out. And then I like to dust the Benefit Powder Flage over it, which is like a, it's for your under eye area. You can even use that on its own, but, you know, I like to kind of layer it. And it won't settle in the lines and it won't make you look powdery. You just dust a very light amount. Remember, if you wear glasses every day, don't feel like you're limited. It really adds a lot to your face. I wear these a lot sometimes, just going shopping or going wherever, because I do like them. I think that they're stylish and I think that glasses are really fun and cute. Like I said, I hope that the tips help you out, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye.